So I was thinking, like you do, how can you best prepare for IELTS, especially IELTS speaking? Well, you can improve your English skills. You can work on exam technique. But there's a third thing that most people forget about, but it's the one thing that trips up so many people. Do you want to find out more? Stay tuned. So, there are three things I recommend you do to prepare for IELTS speaking. Number one, of course, is to improve your English skills, your fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. The second is to do exam technique, practice exam technique. And the third, and this is the one that trips up many people, is to work on your thinking. Because IELTS, half of it is a psychological battle. Change the way you think and work to success in IELTS speaking. I'm going to speak about all three of these. Let me begin with English speaking and your spoken English skills. So the first thing I think you should do is find out what your level is now. Get somebody to evaluate your English speaking skills and tell you where your strengths are and your weaknesses are. And with that, once you know where you are, you can work out how to get to your destination. Second, I suggest you make a study plan. Because when we have limitations, a number of days or weeks we're going to study, we focus a lot more and we're much more effective. Number three, tell other people about your study plan, because the power of social or peer pressure is amazing. Once you've told your friends or your family what you're going to do, you then have to step up and you have to do it. Otherwise you lose face. So tell your friends and family about your plan. I'm going to study 1 hour a day every morning. And when they ask you, you better make sure you've done it. Number four comes down for me to the core of language learning. You see, many people when they prepare for IELTS speaking, they go and read some vocabulary, they go and read about some grammar, they read some sample answers, they recite some model answers, and of course the problem is they're reading. So read, yes, but much better is to listen to the vocabulary, listen to the sample answers, listen to podcasts and the radio, because when you're listening, you get the vocabulary, the grammar, the language, but you get the intonation, the connected speech, the word stress, all of those things you do not get when you're reading. So focus on your listening. Next, in order to improve your spoken English, what's the most important thing you do? Speak, right? Practice your speaking skills. And there are many ways you can do that. First of all, you can just repeat words or phrases. Second, you can shadow, which is where you listen and repeat directly at the same time. Third, you can talk to yourself. Everybody does it. In fact, you do it all the time inside your head, so just make it external. Talk to yourself in English. Fourth, talk to others. 5, talk to lots of other people. I mean, practice making new friends. Because if you always talk to the same person in English, you get comfortable, you get relaxed, and that is not so good. Because in the exam, you're meeting a new person and you need to be used to speaking to different people, new people. So make friends, speak to different people as much as you can. If you get a speaking partner, change every week, try new people. And next, practice talking about things you don't know much about. So IELTS is a test of talking about familiar things and unfamiliar things. So do you know the issues and the vocabulary around pollution, city living, education, poverty, recycling, climate change? All of these things, topics that come up. So find out what you don't know and then research to find out ideas and language. I suggest you research in English if possible, so you get the language. And then you've got the ideas and practice talking about it. Next, when you're speaking, just practice being you. When I've done the IELTS speaking test, I notice a lot of students going to something called, well, many examiners call exam mode. And they become a bit like a robot. And they start talking in a robotic fashion because they've memorized the ideas and they're under stress and they're trying to perform the best they can. But it's so refreshing and good when you get a candidate who brings down that barrier and just talks naturally as themselves. So this is me, this is what I think about pollution. I mean, look at these two examples, right? Traffic pollution is a really serious issue because there are too many cars. It causes fumes in the city, which cause us in turn to get diseases, maybe heart diseases, which are not good for our health. Yeah, I think pollution is an issue. Because there are too many cars in the city, especially where I live. And all the fumes that come out of the cars, they can cause respiratory problems. People end up in hospital with heart disease. And it's really negative. It has a really detrimental effect on us. So yeah, I think that's a big issue we should face. So can you see there is a slight difference in mode and being yourself? So when possible, try to be you. Another important thing is when you're speaking, to get feedback on your speaking. You will only get better when someone else, teacher, friend, somebody with maybe a higher level than you, can tell you your mistakes and where to improve. So get feedback on your speaking. And finally, and this is a good way to get feedback, record yourself. Listen back and think about how to improve. It'll help you. It's self-correction. It's very, very powerful. I've talked about improving your spoken English skills. Now, the other big thing, of course, was to practice your exam technique. Practice the topics and the questions and the answers. So you need to know the format of the exam and how to answer. I will be making another video soon all about exam technique and tips, so look out for that soon. Let's move on to the third area and the one that trips up so many people, which is your thinking. Okay, so I think there are three things to bear in mind with thinking. First, how do you see IELTS? How do you think about IELTS? Is it a headache or is it an opportunity? For many people, it's the headache, right? It's a challenge, it's a barrier, something they have to do to immigrate or to get abroad. If only I can get it out of the way and get on with my life. There's a problem with that. It may be true, but the way you're thinking about it is creating a negative effect in the way you speak and how you speak English. And that goes into the exam and the examiner picks up on it very, very quickly. And it affects your performance. So the trick is to think of IELTS as an opportunity. IELTS is not just about passing the exam. It's about improving your English skills. That is the best way to pass the exam. You can't pass to get the level you need, right? So if you think of IELTS as an opportunity to improve your English language skills and develop communication skills for the rest of your life, how to solve problems, how to communicate, how to work with others and speak with others. It's a great skill. So think about IELTS as an opportunity. Simple change in your thinking. Number 2, around thinking, is to think about your identity. So yes, you're a student, but how about being a speaker, an English speaker? If you can change the way you think of yourself, not as a student, but as a speaker of English, it has a big impact. A lot of people think English is outside them. It's the books, it's around us, it's what we listen to. It's not really, it's inside you. English is a part of you. If you create this identity as an English speaker, then you take that into the exam and it gives you more confidence to be you as an English speaker. So think of yourself as an English speaker. And the final, third tip is about visualization. The best athletes and competitors in the world, before they go into a competition or a race or some kind of event, they visualize. So they can see themselves being successful. So you go through the IELTS test in your mind, seeing yourself being successful. And that visualization is a way of thinking. It's a mental preparation that really, really can help you in the IELTS test. Because so many people make a mess of IELTS because of their nerves and they're so nervous. So get psychologically prepared. So that's it. Those are 3 things you can do about your thinking. So to sum up, 1, work on your spoken English. 2, work on your exam technique. And there are some part 1 and part 2 questions and answers on this channel. You can go and watch straight after this video. 3, change your thinking. And with that, you will be prepared for the IELTS speaking test. If you liked this video, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care.